Oh good, you're here. I am Hiralious Bones, artist. But please, my friends call me Bones. I come to you today with an idea for gifts. As you know, the kitties and I have joined Jelly in the land of sunshine. This will be the first year that I spend in a place that doesn't experience snow. Our neighborhood really decorated for Halloween, so I'm excited to see what winter looks like. I love snow! Fall is my favorite season, followed closely by winter. I don't do well in heat. I don't know what I'm doing here. But Jelly told me that there are flowers here year-round. That might make up for the lack of snow. Today we are making pendants with some leftover flowers from my fairy godmother project. If you haven't seen that video, it's a lot of fun. And I will link it below. I was on a roll with the resin and these flowers, so I decided to use the same technique for these pendants. This is a fun, easy technique to get you started with resin if you're interested. Resin can be really intimidating, but it can also give you some really beautiful effects. Let me show you. I found these lovely wooden blanks on Amazon a while ago. I will leave a link in the description below. These pendants had 9 different designs, and you could get 2 of each design and a corresponding cabochon. The first design I decided to add some color to was old Dottie McFlower face over here. I decided I wanted the dots to go around in a warm gradient from purple to red, making stops at yellow, orange, and pink along the way. I achieved this using many colors of thin-tipped Posca pens. Some of the pens were juicier than others, but they cleaned up quickly with water and a bit of paper towel. You think these dots are small? There's another row of smaller dots inside the ring of already tiny dots. It was a battle of wills, but I emerged the victor. And I love the color combinations with the wood. I gave each dot a couple of coats to really help them pop. The way I'm designing these pendants, the back will be visible in some areas. So I used some orange interference paint from Golden to give the backing a few washes. This resulted in a shiny orange tint to the backing. Now for some high gloss varnish, the cousin of glue, to protect the paint. Moving on to Scotty McDower face. I wonder if they're related. I wanted to use glitter Posca pens that I have yet to try. I decided to do a cool color gradient on this one. Only one row of teeny tiny dots. I did this to myself. For the backing, I used some purple interference paint from Golden, giving McDower face a shiny, sparkly purple backing. Do you know what I mean when I say wash? I mean, I'm mixing a significant amount of water with the acrylic paint to allow the color of the background to show through after being applied. I guess you could say it makes the paint more transparent. This one is Dusky Knees. I'm using black 3.0 because I have plans for you, Dusky. I did a couple of coats to make sure the color was good and deep. For most of these pendants, I thought the brown of the wood was so lovely that I decided to only do washes and pops of color instead of painting the entire piece. I did decide to paint 2 of them with the black 3.0 from Culture Hustle to see what we could make of that. I was not planning on filming the glamification of Hartley O'Bagendas, but then I saw how many oranges I have, and that gave me some ideas. So I'm doing an orange gradient from light to dark and back again around the outer edge. 2 of these colors look very similar, but to the naked eye they are different. I promise you, one is more peachy and the other is more yellow. I swear it on my life! Once again with the orange interference paint washes to give the backing some sparkle. Fancy. Shoot, now I have to name all of them. Flora Snagglebaum. Enid Scuttlethumb. We've already been introduced to Hartley and Dottie. Here's Scotty again. And Dusky! Let's give it some sparklies. This is the Marabou Rainbow Alcohol ink that we've used in past videos. It looks mostly blue now, but with a coat of resin over it, some of the other colors start to appear. Oh dear, okay. Griffin Hammertoe and Ian have made an appearance. Let's give Ian some rainbows too. I liked Dottie McFlowerface so much, I decided to make a second one. Okay, now let's start addressing the center. I have many of those leaves left over from my fairy godmother video, and I thought they would look cool with some of the colors layered 3 or 4 deep in the center of the pendant. I took the cabochon that fit Dottie and traced it onto the leaf to show me where to cut. Who didn't see this coming? This guy. Pretend like everything's normal? Since Dottie is working with warm colors, I chose to layer the corresponding colors of leaves. I tried to include some of the natural cream color in the areas that I cut out, as well as different areas of each leaf so there's more variety and more obvious depth when I layer them. I'm saving the scraps because who knows what I can use them for? The possibilities are endless. This design reminds me of fossils or ancient trees. What does it remind you of? Maybe that's a subject matter that needs to be explored further. I'm trying out different orientations to see what looks best. The great thing about this gift is there are so many ways to interpret the design. You can make them all year round. You can give them as a birthday gift, Hanukkah gift, appreciation gift, really anything. You can make them into earrings, they're light enough. Or you could hang it off your car mirror or over a lampshade to decorate. You could glue some to a frame for a decoration or to a mirror. I like the design a lot, so if you want to see more of what you can do with these little puppies, let me know down in the comments. Now I will attach the cabochon with some UV resin. If you don't like to use UV resin, you can use a strong clear glue like E6000 instead. I just like it because, in my experience, it holds a lot better than any glue I've ever used. At the last moment, I decided to add some more sparklies. You know how much I love sparklies. This time, I fear I've gone a bit too far in a bad way. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. The sparklies show up as blue on this otherwise warm-colored pendant, and I was a bit heavy-handed, so it kind of obstructs the layered leaves. It's still beautiful, but not exactly what I was envisioning, so I will try again. Don't worry though, Dottie. You're unique and lovely in your own way, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I gave it a jump ring and a leather cord, and behold! One done. Let's refocus back to Griffin Hammertoe. It needs some sparklies too, I feel, but I will be smarter this time and put the sparklies beneath the leaves. This will leave a suggestion of sparklies through the holes in the leaves. Do not underestimate the power of a good shiny. Pro tip! I discovered if you use a wet paintbrush, these glitters will spread more evenly. Perhaps that was obvious to everyone but me. I'm using scratch paper this time so I don't foolishly ruin my background again. I thought adding a pop of pink in one of the lower layers might be nice, but ultimately I decided against it. Oh my, yes. This is definitely more along the lines of what I had pictured.
General noises of approval!
Oh, yes. Very good. Very good.
Clapping.
I'm nodding.
Clapping.
I approve.
Clapping.
I had given Griffin a wash of blue interference paint and made a gradient down to purple interference paint. But on the black 3.0, it kind of looks like color salt crusted on it. So I decided to do a coat of resin around the cabochon to bring out the purple and blue.
Honestly, the crusty salt look is growing on me, though.
I'm using a straight pin to guide the resin to where I want it to go. It works a treat. I coat the back as well. Look at you, Griffin. Fabulous. I add a jump ring and a black leather cord, and that's another one done. On to Flora Snagglebomb. This one is a bit of a busybody. At this point, I was working on several at once, and I wasn't paying attention to continuity or clarity of what I was doing. So in an effort to restore some order to the chaos of my own making, I have obscured the other in-progress pendants with my adorable skull. But Flora tends to stick around and supervise things for a bit. But for now, you're the star, Flora. Let's see you shine. I've moved on to actual flowers now, using UV resin to secure each down and spreading the edges with a silicone stick. This one I'm aiming for color balance of the whole rainbow. I did a layer of tiny flat flowers in the background, then coated bigger three-dimensional flowers with resin and arranged them throughout the tiny flowers. I wanted some of these to have more than just perceived dimension. So I began experimenting with some of the flowers sticking out a little and creeping over the bezel edge. I also started experimenting with some of the resin molds I have.
The resin does affect the color of some of the flowers, so keep that in mind if you decide to work with them together. There are many types of resin. I generally work with UV or two-part resin. UV resin cures quickly, but is difficult to work with in large amounts. For big projects, a slow cure two-part epoxy resin is a safe bet. Because these pendants are so small, UV resin will work nicely.
For these three-dimensional flowers, I coat the top and cure it, then coat the back and cure it. It's less messy that way. I have a surprise for you, Hartley.
Ooh, what is it? What is it?
I'm making a little globe with this lovely magenta flower in the center. I filled it halfway and put the flower in, then cured it slightly so the flower wouldn't sink, then filled the rest of it up and cured it completely. Trying to pop the bubbles with a pin. See? Flora just has to stick its nose in everything. It's just too excited.
Me too.
Lovely. Attaching the globe. I'm coating these orange flowers to surround the globe on Hartley O'Bagendas. Why is resin never sticky when you want it to be and always sticky when you don't?
Oh, I wanted you all to know that resin, like so many art supplies, is toxic. Unless it says non-toxic, then I'm not quite sure how they get away with that, but For me, I always just assume that resin is toxic. I hope that doesn't scare you away from it, because it is really cool. But I want to make sure you take the proper safety precautions so you're safe when you use it. Wear gloves. It's very sticky to your skin, so try to avoid making contact. If you do, I found that acetone or rubbing alcohol helps get it off. I wear a mask when using resin to protect my lungs. There's a chemical reaction happening, the fumes can get nasty. But really, now you look the part of a mad scientist, so it's not all bad. Just read instructions, inform yourself of the products that you're using, and be safe. And have fun. Let me know if you decide to give resin a try.
I added some little yellow and salmon pom-pom flowers between the larger orange ones. Oh my goodness, Hartley, you're lovely. A little strange maybe, but just lovely. I added a jump ring and a piece of translucent olive green ribbon to top it off. I think the color of the ribbon and cord I used really helped each piece come together. Another way I thought might be interesting to add dimension is with these ring molds. This was tricky. I had to go slowly and root out all the air bubbles, but I was successful after only 3 attempts.
I'm giving them an extra little cure, just to make sure everything stays the way it should be.
Alright, Dusky Knees, you're up. I secured the ring down and then started filling in the gap around the edge. I wanted the flowers to be at different points around the ring, but I think that would have been easier if I'd attached the flowers first, then secured the ring to the pendant. This got messy pretty quickly. Thank you, Flora. No comments from the peanut gallery, please.
UV resin comes in a single bottle and is cured under a UV lamp in minutes. This is the type of thing acrylic nails are made of. 2-part epoxy resin comes in, as the name suggests, 2 separate parts that you mix together to cure. This generally takes 12 to 24 hours to harden.
For Dusky, I had the idea of making a kind of night garden with cooler colors. It turned into more of an underwater garden, but I still like it.
I'm pleased that my first gift video of the season reflects the flowers I will be surrounded by this year. I'm not an expert, but if you have any questions on resin, I will do my best to answer them.
I ended up filling the ring in with resin. I also coated the rest of the wood in resin to seal it. Then I added a jump ring and a piece of beautiful blue ribbon, and Dusky Knees is complete. Ian! Oh, Ian! You're looking splendid! This is Whisper Mossy Tooth, one of my favorites. The moss comes up in an open dome surrounding the green bloom. Echo St. Meriwether is Flora's distant cousin. I really like the addition of moss to the garden.
Scotty McDowerface, we meet again.
I really love this color combination. The ribbon matches the flower perfectly. This is Dottie McFlowerface 2.0 with just a suggestion of sparkles through the leaves. Enid Scuttlethumb! I used a ring on this one too, but I didn't fill the center all the way. Looking good, Enid. Finally, Agatha Fancy Pants. This one came out kind of like a painting. Simply fantastic.
I still have so many ideas for the rest of them. I have 6 blanks left. If you'd like to see me finish them, let me know down in the comments. I was thinking about putting these up in my Etsy shop. What do you think? Which of the pendants is your favorite? It's so hard for me to choose. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. That's all for now, my friends. Take care, and I'll see you next time.